Okay, I'm recording now.
Can I sit with you?
Giant rise, catch the demons by surprise. Holy nation sanctified, let this be our battle cry. Ready yourselves, ready yourselves. Let us shine the light of Jesus in the darkest night. Ready yourselves, ready yourselves. May the powers of darkness tremble as I raise His rise. Until the Lord is holy, I'm calling out, lifting up your name for all who hear the sound. Like voices in the wilderness, we're crying out. Let the day draws near, we'll sing till the Lord hears. Sing till the Lord hears.
video that I put together because sometimes it's easier to show pictures than to try to describe the things that you've seen. So that was just really quickly out of like 2,000 pictures what I thought I would show. So the trip I went on to India wasn't specifically a mission trip, it was just studying abroad, but this trip taught me a lot about my faith, and it taught me how just how to express my faith in my everyday life and how to be a missionary just wherever I am. We were told as a group of 6 girls that we were really fortunate because all of us came from Christian backgrounds and all of us shared a similar faith. And so that was something that I was really anxious about before I went, not knowing those other girls, not knowing what to think, but together we learned a lot from each other and a lot about what God is doing in India and how we can apply our faith and our Christianity in different cultures and how we can relate to people. So while I was there, I was asked to give a sermon a few times. When I went to an orphanage, I visited a couple different churches, and the couple who started it, they also do church planting, and so he had asked my friend and I who went if we would prepare something to speak to everyone. So I had no idea. I was at a loss. For a couple weeks, I just prayed about it and prayed about it. I read my Bible. I still had no idea what I was supposed to talk about. But the week before we went, my roommate, she asked me, "What has God been teaching you?" And I said that God's been testing my faith. He's been teaching me this whole time, not even since I've been here, but even before I left. God has been testing me to see if I would listen to Him. So I talked about different ways that God can test our faith. And then those 3 ways I talked about were through difficulties that we face, through commands that He's giving us, through things He's calling us to do, and then also through delays, or times of waiting, times when we're not hearing God. So He can test our faith, and that can happen every day. And I did experience that on my trip. And it started before I left, like I said. It was just a month before I was supposed to leave, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go. My school had given me my bill, and it was a lot more expensive than they had originally said. And our first thought as a family was, I have to pull out of the program. So I didn't know whether or not I was supposed to go, but I didn't feel like God was closing that door. So I had to listen to Him and trust Him because He had called me to go, and I needed to still listen to His answer no matter what anybody else said. If they said it was going to be easier if I stayed home, I knew that I had to go. So the testing of my faith started before I even left. So I trusted God, and He provided all the money. And I also want to say thank you to the church because they have helped me over the last few years with all of this. And so I knew I was supposed to go because everything was provided for. And then when I got there, different things that that God had called me to do, whether it be to give a sermon. I didn't want to do that, but God was testing my faith. Would I really let Him speak through me? Would I let Him be with the people in that way? And so there was a verse, Hebrews 11:1. It says, "Faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." So having faith in God, that even though He's not physically here, writing the words down for me to speak, I can listen to Him and I can hear Him, and He's strengthening my faith in that way. And Hebrews 11:6 says, "Without faith it is impossible to please God." So faith isn't something that we just get one day and we're good forever. It's something that's tested every day. And it's not just when you answer big calls or when you're waiting for something big to happen and you're waiting patiently. It can happen every day in your everyday life. I use the example, I rode the train every day. So I gave the example to the people, if God is calling me to speak to the person sitting next to you about His love and what He's doing in your life, then talk to them. And it's really scary, but it's those things that when you answer to Him that are pleasing to God and that also grow your faith. And your faith is going to grow your whole Christian walk. So that's just a little bit what I learned. And from the pictures you saw, I attended school in the social work department at Madras Christian College. And through that, I had an internship with ASHA, which means hope, and it's a school for disabled children. And it's something I never thought I would ever do. That's why something Kaylee's wanted to do. But I fell in love with the school the minute I got there. Those kids, as you could see from the pictures, are always smiling, they're always laughing. They would like greet me at the door and hold my hand and walk me to the school with them. And I worked really closely with their mothers. And I held with one of the people who also works there, we held mental health programs and physical health programs for all the mothers and nutritional health. We focused a lot on their well-being as a mother with disabled children. And that was a really great way. It was a mission of St. Andrew's Church, of a church there. And so it was a great way to also see like Christianity being played out in a different culture there as well. I also attended a prayer hall in my dorm every night. It was a really great way to get connected. The girls had a curfew of 6:30, so there was really nothing else for them to do. So at 8 o'clock every night after dinner, there was a prayer hall. And the girls, they went through different things that they were thankful for. They sang songs, and every night there was a message given by the prayer hall leader. And the first night going, I remember thinking like how great it was that these girls come every night, and like the thing that they were thankful for was being back in the prayer hall, because they had just gotten back from Christmas break, and like that was something that they missed. And then when they shared their prayer requests and their struggles, it was awesome to hear like they struggle with the same things that college girls in the United States are like struggling with. And when we sang songs and like the word world and universe and everything was used, it was really cool because I was halfway around the world singing the same songs I sing here, but it meant like a whole new thing to me because I was worshiping with other believers, and it all meant the same, like nothing was different. And then one other thing I did when I was there was my roommate, she knew a man named Simeon, and her family friends support him in his orphanage that he has, him and his wife, Puspita. And so when we were there, she called him and he invited her to come and spend however long with him and his family. And so she asked me if I would go, and I was honored, and I said, of course I would. So we went for 5 days, and we stayed in their home. And they have one daughter of their own, Sneha, who's 6 years old. And then they also have 35 to 40, I think they probably have 40 now, orphan children living in their home. And it's a 2-room home with a really small front yard, but it is a beautiful house. This couple is working so hard for God. And with the little that they have, they're giving everything. He was a school teacher, and he had this vision from God of a hungry child and his mother, and the mother couldn't take care of him, so he decided to quit his job and open up his home to these children, and they have been blessed immensely with 35 beautiful children and a loving heart to serve the Lord. And I was so amazed that they have nothing, but yet they have everything. They have everything because they have Jesus' love, and they're following what he's calling them to do. And they're 26 years old. And I just really want to speak on their behalf because they are so amazing. And he asked if I would just share his mission with everyone that I know. And I said, of course I would, because he's just, their family, I just can't get over how their hearts are just so willing to serve the Lord. And they also have church planting missions, so they have 3 churches of probably about 20 people each, and we got to go to one of them. And then we had one day where all the churches came together and we had a gospel day. And I met pastor upon missionary, and everyone was working for the same thing. They were all working for God, to spread the love of God and just share their faith with people. People converting from Hinduism to Christianity, which is really, really hard to do because you have to go through the government and change your religion. It's a really scary thing. And so it was just amazing to see the testimonies of all these people and see, I mean, it really encouraged me. So we encouraged them and they encouraged us. And they probably don't even know how much they touched our hearts, my friend Sarah and I, because we talked about it for a really long time afterwards. And we want to strive to be like those people who are living for the Lord and not in fear. They're just living day by day, answering to God's call, and it's really just, it's amazing. So I thought I would end. My roommate and I, we made a video. And coming back, it's a little hard to understand because his accent is really strong, but we didn't really realize that when we were making it and we were listening to him because we were kind of used to the accents. But he just talks about his mission. We just want to ask him a couple of questions. They live month by month from the support of people, and he's just asking for prayer. And his vision right now that God has given him is to open up a school for his children. They go to the public school right now, but it can be up to 100 kids for one teacher. And so it's really, they don't really get a lot of education, so like their time is really structured when they come home. They basically go to school during the day and they come home and they're tutored by their mom Puspita, and they do school basically all over again. Because the school isn't, they don't really get that much of an education. So he would really love to open up an English medium school. And God has given him this vision, and he's given him a vision before, and he's followed through greatly. And so he's trusting that God will provide for them to have this school someday for all his children. And his overall vision is to just see all of his children once again in the kingdom of God. So I know this video might be a little hard to understand, but it also has pictures, so that's good. And if you want, you can ask me questions about it afterwards. Otherwise, yeah, you can just watch it. And I ask you to just pray for Puspita and Simeon as they are taking care of these beautiful children, basically for the rest of their lives. So, yeah.
Hello, I'm Mr. Simeon Mali, the director of New Life Children's School, and this is my family. She is my wife, Mrs. Puspita Mali, and God blesses one daughter, her name is Sita. And I thank God that God given an opportunity to serve the children's in Odisha. In the year 2006, when I was working in the school as a science teacher, God showed me one of the picture how a widow lady is tortured by her relatives and struggling to give food to the children. She wanted to give her children to orphanage, but nobody helped her to keep her children in orphanage. Through this picture, God taught me that how the orphan child is struggling for food and how the orphan child is neglected by their parents. That motivated to me completely. So God put a button to start a new journey with the children. I left the school and started a new life in the year 2006. The beginning of the new life is very small, and we started with the 22 kids in the year of 2006 in the month of June at the Anmol district of Odisha, India. New Life is a charitable unit of Mission Purpose of Isom, a charitable Christian organization. It is located in the Anmol district of Odisha. After 4 years staying in the rented house, New Life Child got the opportunity to construct an artist building in the year 2011. The children are going to the government school nearby our home. There are 35 both boys and girls orphan kids are staying in orphanage at the age group of 5 to 11. We are giving daily tuition to them. We are providing 2 meals and 2 breakfast, and we are also conducting morning and evening devotion every day. We are completely dedicated for the physical, spiritual, and emotional development of the children. It is our goal to provide support and care to the orphan who have lost their fathers and mothers by giving them word of God, nutrition, love, shelter, and education. It is not my aim to make a big organization, but I want to see these little children in the kingdom of God. This is my vision and this is my goal. Children are taken care and fed by the food staff. There are 2 food staff named Suresh Matra and Ravoki Matra, and the 2 teachers named Ashish Kumar Singh and Smita Mani. They are dedication for the children in our orphanage.
I believe taking care of orphan is task from God to me. Receiving a child in God's name is a big task for me by God. I am so happy to be center that make gifts for God. It is honor for me to be house mother a big family.
Dear my friend, as I am working among the children, I have seen that the school that I am sending my children, the school education system is not so good at all. As the education system is very essential for the children, I need to start English medium school in English medium school in our locality, so that I can be teaching English to the children, and they will learn the English, and they will make their future bright.
My role at New Life is to look after physical, spiritual, and emotional development, and in children who have lost their father and mother. I committed to give my affection and love to them so that they will not feel that they have no parents. Teaching medical care, cleanliness of child, record of each child, health condition, conducting Sunday school is my role at New Life.
Evangelism and church planting work is another part of our ministry. We are working among the group of people, and that group of people is called scavenger. Scavenger is such a kind of group of people. They are neglected and they are low-caste people by the society of Isom. There are 2 evangelists who are working for the spreading of gospel through our ministry. There are 3 groups, prayer group. We are working, and there are 3 groups we have, and each group there are 15 to 20 believers gather in English Sunday. We praise God that God is using mightily in these days to share the gospel among the believers. We welcome all the volunteers with all skill activities, like medical professional, doctor, Bible teacher, Bible scholar. It's not possible if you not be give your kindness, generosity of your hearts to the children in the Indonesia. We can join with us by giving one-time donation, by sponsoring the child, by fundraising, by volunteer, and give for the remembrance and honoring of God. Dear my friends, also you can encourage us through your name and through your prayer. Your prayer and support is very, very essential for you.